Hiya folks, I'm Grim, and welcome to Grim Grooves. Today we'll be checking out the Legend of Zelda Orchestra Concert from 2024. I've been a fan of Zelda my entire life. It was one of the first games I ever played was the original Zelda game for the NES, but I've never once heard any kind of live studio performances or any kind of orchestral arrangements of Zelda songs. So I'm really excited to check this out because I have no idea what to expect other than just great Zelda music, and I'm all about it. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to see all the stuff I've got coming in the future, which is all kinds of game stuff, all kinds of music from all kinds of different avenues, because I love music. And without further ado, let's check out the Legend of Zelda Orchestra Concert. Songs will it have? Sounds like a warm-up. Excited. I don't know anything about the song list or what songs there'll be here. I haven't looked at all. What will it be? There's so many great Zelda songs. I'm sure we'll get the main theme at some point. But the anticipation. Nice. Yeah, the violins, oh, so beautiful. And that like marching drum kind of beat as well. Like I love Tears of the Kingdom. I wasn't as big a fan of Breath of the Wild because it was just such a departure from the original Zelda games. But Tears of the Kingdom brought it back. I love Tears of the Kingdom, and the ideas they put forward in it were so good, and the music was fantastic for both games. Good soft sax like that. It's gonna make me tear up. Did make me tear up. Just such an adventurous theme, such a hopeful theme. Just so many, like all the emotions of the game that you feel just like hits you in a wash listening to this back. Because I haven't played the game since it first released. I did everything. And yeah, it's been quite a while now. Well, whenever it came out, like beginning of last year, whatever. Like it's been a while. And yeah, this brings me back. It makes me want to play the game again. I may end up getting into Zelda because of this. Getting back into Zelda, I should say. Sorry about that. A sneeze crept up on me. Let's keep going. Wow. What a transition. Just everything kind of fades and then you just get that little Urhu like little final melody from that, and it turns to the next. It's interesting because in the game, a lot of these melodies that we hear, especially in the newer games, they are kind of orchestrally recorded. Like they recorded in a studio like this where they have an entire orchestra, and it sounds beautiful. I mean, every newer Zelda game, the melodies and the kind of range of the melodies are so strong and so beautiful. And just seeing it performed live here is just such a treat. Like, it's so interesting to see it actually performed, because I've always wanted to see something like this, but I just never looked into it. I don't know why I went back. We didn't. There was no song playing. Force of habit, I guess. Bravo. I didn't even know who was when I first played Zelda or Tears of the Kingdom. But yeah, that sax was fantastic too. It's interesting too how it's completely silent in between. Surprised how long it's taking to get into the next song. Like, for the video, you'll see that I have like timestamps so you can skip ahead if you want. But yeah, I don't know when each song starts or stops here yet. Again, I don't know when any songs they're choosing are for this. Ballad of the Goddess. Skyward Sword, I believe. Oh, if not. No, yeah, it is. I haven't heard this in a long time. Maybe this is why I love horns and strings so much. I mean, I've always loved great like horn and string melodies, and Zelda music is just so heavily focused on horn and string melodies. I mean, the saxophone in the last one was absolutely phenomenal. The horns here are really good, and the violin as well. Just, it's all so beautiful. And starting with that fantastic harp melody too, like, oh, it's just so beautiful, and the chimes and everything. It's one thing about Nintendo, they are masters. Like, the composers at Nintendo are masters at making like adventurous themes, like ones that give you hope and give you a sense of adventure and grand, like such a grandiose feeling to every theme that they have. Like, it's just always it's very much a call to adventure in the music itself. And like when you hear it while you're playing, it's like it drives you forward. It makes you want to explore. It makes you want to find the next thing, because it's such an adventurous theme. It just gives you that kind of rush of like adrenaline and action. Like, you just want to get into the action, get into the mystery, and solve what's going on here. Like, even Skyward Sword, although on the surface is not the greatest of Zelda games, obviously it was fairly panned when it first came out. The motion controls are terrible. Like, I was not a big fan of them, but I still played through it and I did enjoy my time with it, although it's, again, not the greatest of the Zelda games. But the music is still very, very good. Such an intense theme. Again, so action-packed. All of these are so action-packed. I have no idea what's going to be coming next, but I'm excited to find out. Oh, Zelda's Lullaby. The OG. Of all Zelda games, I'd say Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask have the most iconic and the greatest music of all of them. I mean, the original Zelda, the very first Zelda's main theme is fantastic too. Like, incredibly iconic, but Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, like, those are my favorite Zelda games by far. Majora's Mask is the biggest. Like, I have a couple posters on my walls of the game. I love the game. It's one of my favorites of all time. And yeah, Zelda's Lullaby is iconic. Never heard an orchestral arrangement of this. Link to the Past is also phenomenal. Here it comes. Wow. This will probably make me tear up too. Again, making me want to get back into Zelda. Like, I may have to do a randomizer run in Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time at some point. Like, man, it's been a minute. But this is so beautiful. And I love how they chose to start with just a single violinist kind of doing the main theme and then building up everyone else into that kind of main theme together. Like, it's so well orchestrated and such a beautiful melody. Such a sad melody, but so beautiful too. Wow. Like, yeah, it's so iconic. This is what I was hoping for from this video, like being able to see or listen to these classical Zelda songs that never got a chance to really be done in orchestral fashion. And just, well, obviously they've probably done this quite a few times. I'm just late to the party. I've never heard this before, but it's just so beautiful with all the different instruments kind of working together to create this fantastic melody. And it is making me tear up. Like, it's just such a beautiful melody and so much nostalgia. So I like tied to it too because I played the game so many times. It's just so beautiful with all these different instruments, and it just sounds amazing. At the end of it? Oh, interesting. It's just like interesting flourishes for the end of that section. I don't know why, but it worked well. That was absolutely beautiful. It's everything I wanted it to be. Link's Awakening? it's a medley. Nice. This is one thing I hope from Nintendo is that they continue to do these kind of remakes like they did with Link's Awakening, because it's just so well done. And honestly, Oracle of Seasons and Ages, I know they were originally developed by Capcom, but they're some of my favorite kind of like classic Zelda games like this, like Link's Awakening, and it would just be so cool to see them remade. Even Minish Cap would be fantastic to see a remake of, but I mean, the music is fantastic regardless. As I was saying before about how adventurous the themes of Zelda are, this is like a classic adventurous theme. Like, I remember playing this game for the first time on the Game Boy Color with like Link's Awakening DX, I think it was. Like, so good. I never noticed that just about every Zelda song has this kind of like marching drum beat. Maybe it's just for this style, but it works really well. I like it. It's just something I never noticed before. It's the breakdown. Opening of the game. The Ballad of the Windfish. I love that art style too. Ooh, that harp melody. Ooh, alongside the piano was beautiful. It's the closest we've got to getting the main Zelda theme. And another tear. Damn. I've never broke it down so much in a single video, and it's not even necessarily sadness. It's like tears of joy, like the nostalgia and the stories that come with these Zelda games and the adventures that you go on and stuff like that. Like, there's just so much nostalgia to it, but at the same time, the songs are also usually tinted with a bit of sadness and just so much beauty. Like, it's so unique as a style and as a series. The music of Zelda, like, it's just so unique. I may have to make a video on the music of Zelda because it's so iconic and beautiful. This really wasn't necessary. That was so intense. And I mean, that's not even one of my favorite games from Zelda. Like, I do love just about every Zelda game. I've played pretty much all of them, but it's still just so interesting, like, that this still hits so hard. It's such a beautiful theme. Like, all the music, again, is so beautiful. And there's a number of songs I would love to hear here at this concert, but I have no idea what they're going to be. But I can't wait to find out, because they've already picked some really good ones. I have no idea what we're getting next. Into the old Breath of the Wild. It's a beautiful, well-rounded melody. When they first start, well, not when they first, but they definitely had a full orchestra when they recorded the music for Breath of the Wild. It's very orchestral, and this will be cool to hear. It's interesting that they're choosing to, for several of these songs, kind of build in with a single instrument, or maybe build from a single instrument to another single instrument, and then build in the rest of the kind of choir together, or the ensemble, the orchestra together, I should say. But it's really, like, it helps build that anticipation for the music. Like, you know what's coming in a way, but you're just getting little tastes, and then it builds into the huge, like, cacophony of so many different instruments all at once, all playing together, and the harmony of it all. But starting individually like this just helps build that anticipation that, I don't know, it's really cool and really well done. Through everything else too. There it is. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of Breath of the Wild, I can still appreciate the music. I mean, as a game, it is good. I'm a classical Zelda fan. I love the kind of Metroidvania nature of Zelda, where you get new abilities, you travel around. One of my favorite things about a Zelda game is pressing the start button for the first time, checking the menus, and just seeing all the empty spaces for all the items and all the things that I'll get over the course of my adventure. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom doesn't really have that. They don't really have unique items like that. Tears of the Kingdom is much better because there is more variety, but Breath of the Wild, it's such a departure from the classical Zelda feel, and it's like with each new game ever since Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, they just get further and further away from the original kind of mechanics and style of Zelda. And some are okay, Twilight Princess is alright, but there's still something missing. It's not the same as like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, focusing on music as a core gameplay mechanic like those games did. And I don't know if we'll ever get a new one like those, but I mean, some are good, some are bad, but it's just, I don't know. That's kind of the problems I had with Breath of the Wild, but I still appreciate the music, and the gameplay is really good. The systems in the game are really good. There's a lot I like about it. It's just not my Zelda. But anyway, let's get back to it. Just thought I'd say my two piece because I don't know. I always think of it when it comes to Breath of the Wild. And again, I'm glad they improved a lot of things for Tears of the Kingdom, but it still doesn't feel like a classic Zelda game to me. Hyrule Castle. This is from Link to the Past. It's been used in several Zelda games. This sounds significantly better in an orchestral format versus like the old 8-bit, 16-bit format or whatever. Like, it was very simple back then. It's still a phenomenal melody, but it just sounds so much better with an orchestra. Swell. So intense. It's just so different hearing actual strings and actual horns playing this melody. Because again, you play Tears of the or Link to the Past, and you hear the music, but it's just, I don't know, it doesn't hit. Well, it obviously does hit pretty hard. I mean, that's why there's the nostalgia and stuff. But I don't know, it's so different when you hear the full range of all these different instruments playing it at once. Like, it's so much more rich, so much more of a rich melody. Cello melody in the back, just keeping it going. Build it back in. Surprised they didn't show Ganon for the end there, but it was still really cool. Like, really well done. I'm curious if we'll get any Wind Waker music. Breath of the Wild. Interesting. Another one. Not as familiar with this song, I don't think. I definitely saw this trailer when it came out, but that's 7 years ago at this point. That's crazy. 8 years, actually. Almost. The amount of hype and anticipation this trailer caused was immeasurable. Like, I don't know if there's ever been a game that hit this hard, like with an announcement trailer and stuff. Like, just, even though, again, I'm not the hugest fan of Breath of the Wild, it's because the hype was so great going into it, and I knew nothing about it going in, other than it was like an open world Zelda, but I assumed it'd still have a lot of the main mechanics. Again, I'm not going to harp on this too long, because there's a lot that I do like about the game, but I don't know. Like even now I can still feel chills watching this because it's like I'm thinking back to how I felt watching it for the first time, and like I was blown away just like everyone else. I just wished it was more like a traditional Zelda game, but it's still good for what it is. Beautiful piano melody. And there's the drums again. It's interesting that they went from like that kind of mix on the main Zelda theme and then built into this like really intense section here. Everything's red, it's showing a bunch of bosses and stuff. It's just ramping up the intensity. And again, it's just all so adventurous. Like Zelda is like the epitome of adventure in video games, and it always will be, I feel like. I mean, well, who knows, but Zelda is just such an iconic franchise, and now that they've been kind of revived with the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom games and stuff like that, I'm sure there'll be so much more. I'm curious what they'll do next with the Switch 2. Like, who knows what they'll do for Zelda. They could do more kind of open world stuff like Tears of the Kingdom and stuff, or they could do something completely different. I mean, it's Nintendo, that's what they do. So, who knows. of the Wild. That main theme, the bum 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 bum, like it'll always get to me. It's just so beautiful, especially in this kind of situation. Like, wow. Just keeps breaking me down. I mean, it's just so beautiful. Such iconic music and so nostalgic to me. Kakariko Village. This is another one that I've never heard orchestrated like this. I've only ever heard it in video games, like all the games are in, like Ocarina of Time and Link to the Past, that type of stuff. But yeah, I've never heard an orchestral version of this song, and I'm excited to, because I love this song. Koji Kondo was such a master. Him and Nobuo Uematsu, like, wow. The harp and a single clarinet. It's such a dreamy melody, like, whereas many of the other Zelda's themes are very adventurous, Kakariko Village is one that's just very, very peaceful It's very calm. It's very like life out on the field, out on the ranch, out on like the farm kind of thing. Like it's just so peaceful and so beautiful. It's like Lon Lon Ranch is also that kind of vibe, but Kakariko is just it's such a dreamy, peaceful melody. It works so well. The book. Here it is. See, this is the Kakariko Village that think of most when I think of Kakariko. Like, I love Link to the Past as well, but I never grew up with it. I just never had the game, so I kind of skipped the Super Nintendo. Like, I played it a couple times, but I never really got into it. But then Ocarina of Time came out, and I got completely hooked. And then Majora's Mask, and then Wind Waker, and everything past that. But it was only maybe like 5, 6 years ago that I finally went back and played through Link to the Past for the first time. So it doesn't have that kind of same nostalgia to me as many of these other Zelda games do. But yeah, when it comes to Ocarina of Time, that's like the music that comes from that game, even if it was used in other games, it hits me for that game, for Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. I just love them both so much. So that's what they need. They just need to remake or make a new version, like just a completely new Ocarina of Time kind of thing. Like I think most Zelda fans have been waiting for a sequel, a proper sequel, for since they came out, since the original Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask came out. Like all you need is just make a Zelda game, bunch of dungeons, like maybe 10, 12 dungeons or something like that. Like give a bunch of items, give a bunch of abilities, and make music a core element where you learn new songs and stuff. Like maybe just double the amount of songs. Like people would love that, but they never have. They've never once capitalized on that. It's weird because it's what people want. Just Ocarina of Time, but bigger and better. The geckos are all loose. So beautiful on the strings. You get a bottle from her. Interesting, because I'm so used to playing the randomizer that I don't remember where any of the items are legitimately supposed to be. I just, most of the time as an adult, when I've came back and played these games, I do a randomizer of some sort. And it's always so much fun. It's the best randomizers out there, in my opinion. Like, they're just so good. So beautiful. Fantastic way to end that. Absolutely stunning. One of my favorites from Zelda, just overall. It's just such a peaceful and beautiful melody. Oh, the main theme. Here we go. Yeah, I grew up playing this game. I grew up playing all these games, but this one in particular. just to go along. What an epic build to this. Like, we all know what the original Zelda theme is. We know what it sounds like and stuff like that, but like they're again building anticipation with each individual note they're putting out here. And just all these different instruments working together to kind of like work in some of the main themes of this theme, but not actually giving you the main theme just yet. Again, building anticipation. It's really well orchestrated, really well composed. Come to town. Here it is. We've been in this song for like probably a minute and a half now, and we're finally getting the actual fanfare of the main theme of Zelda. But it's been really good. Again, the anticipation has been building, and it's just really well done. The first time I've ever heard this theme done in orchestral arrangement. It's stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. And again, the arrangement here, whoever put the arrangement together just did such a masterful job. This is so well done. Link to the Past theme, nice. I'm curious, are they going to build into several different ones of these? I know there's only a few minutes left, so I don't know how much they can do, but it would just be really cool if they were like the Legend of Zelda theme, and then they worked through like each and every Zelda theme from each game. I know they don't have the time for that, but like, yeah, that would have been really cool. I mean, even this is really cool. I know I'm not pausing and dissecting the music as much as I normally do in reactions, but it's because, I mean, I'm so enthralled by this on its own. But at the same time, I mean, we all know the melodies for the most part. I mean, there's not a whole lot for me to call out and talk about as much here because it's songs that we all know and are established and stuff. I can call out individual instruments, I guess, but like these themes are just so iconic and so beautiful. And I'm just talking about the arrangement now too, because it's just so well done and so beautiful. Such intensity. Wow. That was incredible. I wish there was like several hours of this. I mean, there probably are other orchestras or like orchestral concerts of Zelda music, but this was still stunning. I mean, even just for half an hour, like I wish there was more because it was just so mind-blowing, this entire thing. But they still did an amazing job. And for my first time listening to an arrangement like this, it was really, really good. I love this. Like, I probably cried like 4 times during this. Like, just certain songs, certain melodies hit me, and it was like, damn. Like, it just, constant nostalgia, the adventure, the hope, the joy of it all, like, is so much. I mean, Nintendo may be kind of a terrible company towards its fans sometimes, but they do make amazing games and make amazing soundtracks for those games. Like, every single one, they're just so good. I mean, Skyward Sword. But there's a lot of really, really good ones. And even Skyward Sword, like, as bad as it was when it first came out, I think a lot of it was just shoehorning in the motion controls so much. But there's so much more to it aside from that. And if you play it on the Switch, which I still haven't done yet, but I do want to because I want to play it without the motion controls and see how much better it is. Because there's just so much that you have to deal with the motion controls. I've never been a hugest fan, but I mean, whatever. But this orchestra was just exceptional. Like, being able to hear, like, Zelda's Lullaby or Kakariko Village. Like, there's such iconic themes that I grew up with that I love in an orchestral form. It was so different and so much more well-rounded. Like, I mean, the original versions, no matter how many times I hear orchestral arrangements, no matter how good they are, the originals will still hold a special place in my heart just because of the nostalgia of it. I mean, I've played them so many times. And now, as an adult, like I said, I go back and I play just randomizers for fun because I just want more of Zelda. And the randomizers just give you something new, something interesting every time you play. And it's always fun to do. I might do one on my second channel, Grim Goodnight, in the future. I almost definitely will because I do love doing them. And watching this makes me want to get back into Zelda. So, anyways. But thanks for hanging out and watching my reaction. If you liked it, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. And until next time, later days, folks.